Life is short. Eat your caviar with your animal crackers.
I bear the responsibility of all of my decisions. Good thing I'm always right. Hello!
I'm Hunter Cranberry Sauce Harden.
And I'm Papa the Bear Key.
And, oh, Jesus.
And welcome to the Real Housebears.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I need to stop. I need to go record this podcast. Please, I will sign everybody's autographs later. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my
God,
gosh.
it is the star of this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Hunter Harden. As seen on Real Housewives Season 3, Episode 7, and the list does not go on. But
it does now.
It's going to now.
Because you are the star of this week's episode.
I was seen 13 times in this episode.
That was more than Mary was shown.
But I literally sat there for 30 minutes behind Angie and Monica, couldn't hear anything they were saying, but they sat there and talked for 30 minutes while I sat there and ate popcorn and saved seats. And they didn't show even a sliver of that.
I know.
You see me with popcorn one time and it's like me picking it up and eating it. But I sat there for 30 minutes. One, to save seats for you. Two, I saw that they were sitting there and I was like, this is a great time for me to be on camera because I know how to get on camera.
Yeah.
And they didn't show even a single sliver of it. 30 minutes, because the whole time
You really set them up for a really nice scene.
Really good scene. Somebody eating popcorn in the background and being like, oh, snap.
And knowing how much has been going on with Angie K and Monica and Lisa now, leading up to this week's episode, we're like, there's no way.
But the only
they're
issue,
not going to include that conversation.
But Angie and Monica weren't arguing. I couldn't hear them raise their voice at all. And honestly, when Lisa started doing her song, I didn't even hear Monica say no.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I was sitting right next to them.
I was there. I was filmed. I better be put on IMDb right away. I'm very, very, very popular.
Somebody needs attention.
I'm very, very popular now.
Again, they should have named this this episode "Hunter Got a Bad Rap" for not getting more screen time.
But you know what? It's all right. It's okay. I've got plenty of fans. I'm more popular than a sex doll in prison.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm more popular than.
I mean, if you were in prison, you would be a sex.
That's why I would be the most popular.
So, folks, we got lots of behind the scenes chat today because this is our one episode.
Yes,
our one episode this season. Yes. I filmed another scene before this of choir practice that they clearly didn't use. Mm-hmm. So, but this was just my 2 scenes filmed this season. So we've got, but. Like, we have a totally different perspective of this Heather Gay book event in particular.
It was completely different than
so you're going to get that. But first, before we get into this week's episode, let's talk about Portland for a moment.
Yes, we got to celebrate my bear's birthday in Portland with our good friend Liam.
Thank you to everyone who reached out and wished me a happy birthday. I really did have the most wonderful weekend in Portland. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a really special time. I would say that, you know, our friends have maybe seen a side of us they've never seen before.
Probably.
Choke on it. Choke on it.
I've seen a side of Portland that I've never seen in other parts of the country.
So what was my favorite part of the weekend was on his birthday, on the morning of his birthday, we went to just go walk around the block.
I know exactly.
Around our area.
Same story.
And this kid runs up behind Papa the Bear and says, "Hey, Santa, lay off all the vitamins." And we laugh and laugh and he jokes. And this guy gives Corey a quarter for his birthday because he says, "This is all I've got." And he's like, "No, that's fine."
It literally was all he had.
And it's all he had. And he's like, "Well, can I sing you a happy birthday?" And my bear's like, "Yeah, do it up." He was a street performer, but he was a Native American street performer, and he had his own drum, and he pulled it out of his back. I had no idea this was coming. He pulled it out of his bag, and he had to sit there, and he's like, "Can you just give me a second? Because I need to basically make up this happy birthday song in his Native touch.
Right.
And
using like the melody of his native songs.
Yeah, because it wasn't a happy birthday to you. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't even that rhythm either. And right there on the street, he sang Corey a happy birthday. And it was so. I've never seen anything like that happen. I've never heard anything like that before. And it was just such a special, one-of-a-kind moment that I've never experienced. And I'm so lucky it happened to you.
Like, this sounds so stupid, but he sang with all the colors of the wind. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
He totally sang with all the colors of the wind.
He
and
sure
it
did.
really moved me. It really moved
I
me.
mean, it was just, you could see it on our social media profile.
Well, on mine in particular, Super
but
Bear
we'll
in
post,
Utah.
we'll post it
I'll put
on Real
Housebears.
Housebears because it was,
that was
it
my
was
most
unique.
memorable moment too.
It was unique.
It was very special, and I feel like it was a once. And it'll only
Once
happen
in a
that
lifetime.
one moment.
I've never heard anything. It was
really
really
incredible.
amazing. My second favorite memory is going out to buy you a cardigan, and I ended up buying a cardigan and a jacket for myself.
Yeah, we went out shopping for my birthday gift, and he ended up buying half of Nordstrom.
It was
I didn't mind.
looked so cute.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it just means I get to look at you looking so good in those clothes. So
I'm gonna look
I
like a
ain't
little.
mad about
Okay,
it.
has anybody noticed Varsity is like in vogue right now? Varsity. So I'm gonna be a cute little Varsity boy.
Yeah, you
I
are.
need to shave my beard off.
And then the final gift that Portland gave us is when we got home, before we were even in bed that night, already a fever. And then for the next 2 days, nausea and a lot of fever off and on, and some other unpleasantries we don't want to talk about.
Gross.
So that's why we're a little bit late on this week's episode. We're still not full. That's why I'm having a ginger ale instead of my normal
having
cocktail. Like, we're still recovering, but this is the most important episode of the season.
Yeah, thank God it happened once we got home.
Right. Oh my gosh, right.
Yikes.
So let's get into, now we can get into Mormons getting a bad rap.
But we renamed it to Hunter's getting a bad rap because I was not shown.
Because
nearly
he
enough.
needs more screen. He should have had more
I should have
screen time.
had more screen time.
You should
I
have.
could have become a meme.
You could have. Listen,
Like me eating, like listening to friends argue and me in the background.
well, that shot of you and Shay sitting there while Heather's reading her
that's cute.
passage, that was just a beautiful shot. We'll talk about it. Let's get in it chronologically. At the book event space, which they didn't say at the very beginning, but we do know that it's called Ember later. When first of all, the girl and the guy who greet them, the guy's name is Sky, I do believe, which I just found was kind of fascinated by
That's another androgynous name, Sky.
Yeah.
For male or female.
We've
been talking about that a lot
we've
this
been
weekend.
talking about a lot of, if someone wanted
Like
to...
Kyle, Corey, those are interchangeable. Ashley.
Yeah, Sky. Okay, we'll have to
Sky.
text Liam about that. So Heather has been doing very, very large book events internationally. Some snarky-ass person on social media was like, internationally, what, Canada? Well, yeah, Canada. That is international, and it's impressive that she has fans in Canada outside of Salt Lake City, for that matter.
And also, how many people have read your book, Dick?
Right?
I hate people. People only want to just write about negative things.
But now Heather is having a very intimate thing for some of the locals.
I read some people are like, what's with this like layout, couches and weird chairs, antiques and stuff? I'm like, I thought it was kind of perfect. It
was
felt at
charming and
home.
cozy.
Yeah, it felt at home.
But that space, when it's empty, boy, did that look rough. Empty,
Yeah, it
didn't
did.
But when it's all dressed up, it was very beautiful.
It was
there
very
a great
pretty.
space, and it's also the same space. A little bit of Housewives trivia for you. Remember in season 1 where they had the baby shower and gave them the little little cars,
yes,
electric
the little
cars, whatever?
That's where it.
That was the same place.
How did you know that?
Dre told me.
Oh, thank you, Dre of Heather and Dre. Heather
Drether.
Drether.
Over at Whitney's, Lisa Barlow arrives bearing gifts as long as she can get in the front gate.
And I love it that Whitney's making a handmade charcuterie board.
Y'all, the charcuterie board is the 7th housewife.
I have to agree because even in the last season too, is charcuterie board, charcuterie board, charcuterie board.
I mean, it's in all of the Salt Lake City, or in all the housewives, but really in
But
Salt
I feel
Lake
like
City.
it's like hyper fixed
in
on
charcuterie.
it.
Like, Salt Lake City people love a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Well, Whitney's like, listen, I've been working my balls off. Justin's gone. I'm putting the kids on autopilot. I'm enjoying my 7th housewife charcuterie board and popping a bottle.
And they have like a cool big screen with like lounge couches downstairs.
Oh yeah, they have like a movie theater downstairs. Yeah, order pizza and let them
Which
chill.
we also don't get invited to, but it's okay.
So Heather calls while Lisa is there and invites her to introduce Heather at the book event and maybe sing Away in a Manger.
Deep down, she loves me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was... people forget what a huge deal that was last season at the choir audition.
Oh my gosh, people lost it.
Yeah, I mean, there were like parody Lisa Barlow Christmas albums everywhere.
People are wanting her to come out with her own album.
Seriously, I support it. But, so Lisa, of course, agrees, and they're like, oh my gosh, maybe now we have to read the book.
This is weird to me that none of our castmates, especially Whitney, hasn't read this book. Because, for one, castmate, 2, friendship, and 3, Whitney, you just left the Mormon religion because of these reasons. Wouldn't you want to be interested in her version of it too? I don't know.
Well, Whitney and Heather just reconciled.
I know, but I like on other...
But I think the whole cast, I agree with you. I think the whole cast on other Housewives show, they at least pretend like they've read it if they haven't.
Or at least they say a part of it that they liked. You know, they mention it, hey, I read your book. I really loved this part of you, and I had no idea that happened.
Right.
You know, just something positive. But instead, everyone's like, I haven't read the book. Or
I
paid somebody to read the book and tell me about the parts that were about me.
Listen to the audiobook. I mean, come on.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. But Whitney doesn't end up even going to this event.
No.
It's not addressed in the show. It wasn't a thing. Because I remember going, oh my God, Whitney's not coming. Like, are they still... But no, it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing at all. But it immediately, this conversation immediately goes to the Prism event. Lisa does not want the blame on her because she didn't start this.
Yeah. You know how kids are like, but I didn't start it. What did I scream?
It doesn't matter that Whitney wants to say... Yes, but Lisa, you participated. You could have just shut it down
and it continued
and stepped away.
Even after she said, Lisa Barlow, be quiet. You still continued, Lisa. Like, you are at fault.
But in true Lisa Barlow fashion, she pauses for a millisecond and gives a sincere apology and blazes right on through it.
Yeah.
Just keep on blazing through.
I love this phrase that Lisa has created. The ocular does not match either the words or the communication. She says,
but she's using ocular now.
She changes. She doesn't change ocular at all, but she changes like words.
The words for sounds.
But now she changes it for communication. She changes that, but she doesn't change ocular.
She's a wordsmith.
I'm going to start using that in my regular vocabulary.
Ocular?
Yeah. This doesn't match my ocular.
Well, Whitney asked her about her relationship with Angie K, and Whitney thinks that Angie K works very hard to please Lisa. And when you watch the final scene of this episode, it's so true.
I love it that when she says, has she ever said anything against you or anything? Like, has she ever spoken up to you or stood up to you? Lisa's like, hold on, let me think. Has she? Right? I love it that she stops and thinks about it.
Well, Whitney suggests that maybe Lisa is a little jealous of Angie K's relationship with Monica. And Lisa's like, listen, I just want everyone to know, I don't have an issue with Monica. Okay? All this was I was concerned for my friend Angie, who Monica said bad things about. That's it. Which, I mean, if you all boil it down to, that is kind of the truth.
There's a couple things that she says what is really bothering her. That there's like 3 different things that bother her right now.
Yeah, I have that down too.
Yeah.
But, then little Brooks is lurking around the corner. And you guys, we've only been to their house once. But when we were at this house, Brooks and Bobby were lurking around the corner,
the whole time,
wanting to hear every word.
Oh, as every child does.
As every child does.
Yeah, somebody's new at our house. I need to go listen to him.
Yeah, but it was just kind of funny to see it from another angle, and then it's just such a kid thing to do.
But man, Whitney, oh my goodness gracious, get to the point. She understands why you don't want her yelling. Man, Whitney, you are drilling it into her and you will not stop. And the whole time she's like, I got it. I understand. And she keeps explaining the same thing over and over to her. And I'm like, just say, hey, can we just stop yelling? I don't want the kids to hear.
That bottle of wine has already kicked in, I guess.
I don't really talk this way in the home. Does that make sense?
Well, now it all boils down to Lisa's
doesn't want to be lied to.
Focus. She doesn't want to be lied to.
Yeah, and that'll change again, but, you know.
If Angie K and Monica want to be friends, be friends. Just don't lie to me about it. I'm just like, is this really about the white pants, Sutton? That's where I am with this. I'm like, is this about the white pants? Is this about
the pasta?
Is this about Magic Mike? You didn't get chosen for Magic Mike, and this is what's going on.
Meanwhile, Heather shows up at the devil herself, Mary Cosby's house.
This is so...
Okay, I need to talk about her wig right now.
Yeah, my hair was bad.
Because it distracted me the entire time I first watched it. And the second time, I had to put my finger up, like above her hairline, so that I could focus on what they were saying.
Because her wig's fallen off.
Because her wig is trying to recede from her face.
Her wig is afraid of her head.
So terrified.
Her wig is trying to go to heaven because it knows Mary's
It's trying to jump off her head to kill itself.
It's so, yes, you are totally right about that.
I couldn't handle it. And at one point you see that it's pulled down a little bit more.
Yeah.
But dang, girl, you are very bougie. You could at least afford someone to do your shit.
So, Mary is being really super sweet to Heather almost through this entire scene. Almost.
It freaks me out.
Other than the inbred moment, the rest of it, she's really, really sweet.
I love it that, like, Mary's decor is like Mary's personality.
But you know what? I don't remember, like, this week it just looked even more carnival-esque to me.
It's because they kept focusing on, like, one little room at a time last season, like the other seasons. But that
seeing them all together in the montage, it was like, it's Seussical, it's like a crazy carnival. Like, what is, I always knew it was crazy looking, but really, what is going on here?
Jade green carpet?
Now, remember, we already knew about the jade green carpet.
I know, but that's, and then, like, clear chairs?
It's wild. Well, those multicolored thrones.
And then the Willy Wonka chairs?
And just the closet alone, please.
I mean, oh my God, this place is insane, but I love...
I bet you that's where Jenny Wynn went. She got lost in Mary's closet.
Heather Gay's analogy of, like, Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. He only gets out of bed for two places. Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory and Mary Cosby's house.
Amen.
That's the only way to explain her house.
Yes. Talk about a wordsmith, that Heather Gay. All right, so they sit down... And Mary says, you know, Heather, I've always thought that we've had a connection. Now, you can disagree if you want. And Heather just like,
I'm not going to disagree.
I'm not going to say anything.
I'm in your house. I will be killed and buried here.
By the way, this whole entire time, you could just, Heather can't believe what she's looking at.
She can't believe she's there.
It's so wild to watch. Because
I need to talk to her about this scene when we meet her next time. Because I'm like, what happened? Like, what did it smell like? I want to know details.
So Mary thinks that their connection is because of their similar spiritual backgrounds. And Mary also feels now that Jen Shaw's out of the way, she can really maybe foster this beautiful connection that they
somehow have. But truthfully, Mary just wants Heather to pay for the nice things she said about Mary in her book. That's what she wants her to pay for. That's the reason why this whole thing. Because notice how Heather says she doesn't have a church to go to every Sunday anymore. Mary not once says you should come to my church.
I don't know if her church is still open. I don't know. We need to do some, like, truthful investigation of
that.
We
are really good investigators.
We're horrible. They're the worst. We only go by headlines and what people tell us.
Listen, if it's not in 140 characters or less, I'm not going to read it.
Right. So, but we do need to find out about that. But, you know, this conversation about Lisa's type of church, Lisa's type of Mormonism, and I just think that people, especially around here, just don't understand that you really kind of can have both and still be true. You know, if you look at all of the religions of the world, they all have different lists of do's and don'ts, but they all have one thing in common, and that's the golden rule. treat people how you want to be treated. Pretty much every religion. That's what it all boils down to.
It also says love the sinner and not the sin.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, that's what all the gods or God cares about, is how you treat your fellow man or fellow human.
Just be a good human. My goodness gracious.
So, I don't think God really cares if you say a cuss word. Sorry. Or if you believe in God or if you don't.
I just love it. My favorite part is just Mary says she has to choose between the light side or the dark side. That's Mary Cosby. My goodness gracious.
Well, she chose the dark side because she's lying through about skimming through this book.
I was going to say that's the trick of the question is Mary is part of the dark side.
Right. She does not do a good lie with.
I know.
I skimmed through the book.
How much do you want to bet that she paid her maid or whatever to read the book and just tell her about the parts that were read about her? I guarantee you that's
she didn't pay her son, because I doubt he
or she didn't even pay him at all. But I love it that she's like, but you call me bougie and blah blah blah, like pointing me out to be like this bougie person.
You made it look like I was bougie and poised.
Miss Mary, you are bougie and poised.
But what's funny about this is somebody posted those chairs. Do you know how much one of those chairs cost?
I can only imagine.
$9,000. But she's not bougie or poised at all. Well, she's definitely not poised. Look at that wig. But she's bougie in all hell with her Tiffany blue paint and Chanel pillows everywhere. Like, my goodness gracious. You know Jesus would have walked in there and tossed everything around in there because you are not living for God.
But, we've mentioned on the podcast 1,000 times that we've actually seen texts from Mary to Heather.
She says horrible, mean things.
So when Heather says that she kind of erred on the side of caution of what to say about Mary in the book, I agree with Heather 1,000%.
She literally said, like, one bad thing and one good thing about her on each side. She was forthcoming, but not ready to give.
And she was never mean or spiteful.
I know. I thought it was really exactly who Mary was. I didn't think it was bad at all, but.
So Mary tells Heather, she's like, listen, I do care about you, and I really don't understand where any of this language is coming from. She's never acted like she's cared about Heather for a day. But they do talk about for a moment. She's like, listen, Heather says, our relationship was a little bit different when I was writing the book because we were more careless with the, hurtful words that we used towards each other. Really meaning you used towards me, Mary.
And Heather reminds her, like, you said that I was inbred. And Mary's like...
doubles down.
I do think you look inbred, coming from a truth teller, or whatever she says. And then she asks Heather, does that bother you? Like... And then she says, I apologize for saying things that just aren't true. And I'm like, you literally just doubled down on that.
I know.
But you know what? Who are you to say anything to Mary?
But then Mary ends up telling her that she's very, very proud of her.
Despite of the things that she said about her on that book.
And Heather's thankful. And she's like, well, maybe Mary, someday you could write a book. Could you imagine?
That would be the most scathing, nasty book I would ever read.
Crazy. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Over at Meredith and Seth's Hanging by a Thread podcast, which we need to be on.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? We held on by a thread.
And look at us.
Look at us. Now we're married.
We're now a whole ball of yarn.
We're a full spindle of yarn. Yeah.
No, there we go.
Is that what it is, spindle?
That's the thing I think that it's made on, but doesn't
Whatever.
matter. And
everybody gets it. We're like a full ball of yarn.
We don't get it. And Meredith does not get this technology.
Why does Seth have a lisp through this scene? Does he have it through, like...
I don't know. I've never noticed it before, but I did notice it at that one point. But remember he was like eating something?
Yeah, I think he's just trying...
like ASMR or something.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to be a brat.
It's not translating very well for TV. How absolutely adorable he is.
I know.
So this episode of Hanging by a Thread is about their wedding. Mm-hmm. Not really, though, because they just talk for a moment how Meredith wanted a giant, 350 guest wedding at the Ritz-Carlton. It immediately gets to their post-nup.
15 years later in their marriage.
Because Seth really wasn't putting any effort into their relationship, was putting all of his effort into just raising money.
And she explains that they were moving from Park City from Chicago, and she was terrified that the laws in Utah wouldn't favor for women and she would lose her kids.
Yeah, a lot of very like heteronormative male people in law around here, for sure. Well, Seth is really, really devastated. You know, he feels bad about it. He's still apologetic and regretful about it. And right in the middle of this really beautiful
perfect podcast material,
Meredith realizes she didn't record.
You can't recreate that.
No, you cannot.
We have done that one time.
Yes, but luckily, we were recording the video on your phone.
Oh, that's right.
So I was able to use the audio from the video of your phone.
That's right.
So, we've had to re-record like a portion.
Yeah.
But luckily, nothing that's been
that was
beautiful,
good,
right? But also, there's a producer present. How is the producer not realizing that it's being recorded? That's what I want to know. Isn't that their job? Isn't that what a producer does? Okay.
I don't know. We don't have a producer. So. We do it all ourselves.
I know, but we've been on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
Over at Monica's.
Okay.
You know what? I think it's actually...
a great place to stop.
Yeah, this is actually a great place to stop because I think we're going to have...
Because, girl, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to have some shit to say. Girl, I'm going to put my hair up in a bun. I'm going to put on my street fighting gloves. I'm just kidding.
Oh, my gosh. Well, then we'll be right back.
Bye.
We're never doing that again.
This is Heather Gay from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and you're listening to the Real Housebears podcast.
And we're back.
We are back at Monica's house.
To this so staged scene that it hurts my face to even watch.
I hate this scene for so many reasons.
Well, a lot of people on social media can tell how staged this scene is. And plus, we know it's staged as well. Because we have been on the show. I was actually on this episode. And I know how it is. I have been mic'd up. You have to get mic'd up way before. You know who's coming. You know what the scene's going to be. You know what... And it irks me that Monica has all of her kids together in the living room for this scene. Because she could have easily said, kids, can you go do stuff? And done this scene without her kids.
Yeah.
Easily done this scene without her kids. But instead, she makes her kids talk bad about their mama or whatever, Bobo. And then lock the door when you leave, and it's so
I'm
so
not
overdramatic.
saying that the conversation isn't real.
Yeah,
the conversation is complete. I'm not.
The scene is set up for this.
Yeah, it's for Monica said earlier in the season that she does not want to include her children in any of her drama.
But this scene was set up so she could have easily said, "Kids, go do something in your rooms. Let me do this scene for the show."
The ocular doesn't match the words.
And for them to respond so easily with something like, should I lock the doors? That means they always talk about this kind of thing.
Yeah, that's real. But there's Bobo. Here comes Bobo. And Monica's like, what? What? She's here? I'm like, girl, you know she's coming.
Well, yeah. I mean, those kind of things that you kind of have to do. But again, getting the kids involved is infuriating to me.
Well, we've all kind of seen Monica's true...
Have we? I don't feel like I know her at all anymore.
Well, that's true. I definitely didn't know she couldn't tie a balloon. Like, you tie it. Like, you tie a knot. You tie a knot like anything. You just tie it.
Like, really? How do you have three children, right?
Yeah.
And have never tied a balloon when your oldest is a teenager?
How do you go 30-something years without...
No, she's 40.
40-something years without tying a single balloon in your life?
It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. That's sus right there.
You know what? I think we just unsolved the mystery.
Yeah. That's a serial killer right there.
I don't know what mystery we solved.
I don't know.
Something was just uncovered. Something was uncovered.
No, I don't even believe, serial killer. I'm like, why did I jump to that?
Well, because Monica does.
That's true.
Well, the car is being returned as a peace gift /
First,
peace offering.
bearing gifts. Oh, we're actually a peace offering, and Monica's just not having it. But I did see that LD Millionaire or whatever, which that
Is her name Linda? Is that her name Linda?
So, yeah, I don't know. But that tagline says enough about her character.
Right.
She says on her site that Monica has only made 2 payments in the past 2 years on that car, and one of them was October 2023. On time.
Yeah, on time. She's like, not in 2 years has she made a single on-time payment.
Monica, get your own effing car.
Yeah.
Like, quit being so, like, oh, I had to buy Louis Vuitton, but I want to drive what is it, a Buick or something? Like, it's a nice car.
And then on the other hand, Mom, don't offer to do it and then hold it over her head.
Yeah.
Like,
they're both just pieces of work.
Yeah, on social media, Linda says, Monica didn't make a payment on time, so but here in the scene, she says, I was trying to get your attention. Mm-hmm. Threatening to call the police on your daughter is getting her attention?
Like, they're both, like, pieces of work.
It's awful. So Monica,
I hate watching these two. It's just toxic.
Well, her mom really is delusional. I mean, she really thinks that they can be the ones to break the cycle. I don't know that the mom has the tools to break the cycle. I'm pretty sure Monica doesn't.
I just don't trust anything that they're saying to each other.
But listen, making her walk home, it's only a half a mile. But
the way she says it too.
But it's also cold. She's wearing nice shoes.
Burberry clothes.
She's not young. So it's not, and it looks like that Monica's not living in the same part of town as like Heather Gay is, you know what I'm saying? So it's your mother nonetheless. I know that you hate her right now, but I mean, you not even giving her a ride home. I mean, come on.
Just shows your character. Like, listen, these two are just horrible people.
I saw someone post online that you can't complain about being a victim once you start to become the abuser.
Yeah.
And I've never been a victim, so I can't speak on that myself, but it really did feel like it resonated at this moment.
But remember, Lisa says earlier how convenient it is for her to be a victim of abuse when she could be the abuser.
I mean, yeah, there you go.
Lisa's called her knows who she is. Period.
I love this.
All right, finally our big scene.
Do you remember the edible flowers that were there?
No.
I completely forgot about it until they sent them out. I was like, oh, I remember those are edible flowers.
I don't remember that. It was a really beautiful space in person.
And as a bear, you should know what edible flowers are.
I should. We got there very early. I'm very sad that you couldn't... Well, I'm kind of glad and sad that you didn't get to see the beautiful outfit that I bought for that day. Those beautiful floral pants.
Because you can wear it again.
Yeah, now I can wear it again and no one's seen it. But
I had to go to Ross and buy... but for real, we had to buy new outfits.
But the new outfit that you bought, which you're wearing the shirt tonight, if you were wearing pants, you would be wearing those too.
Yes, I would.
But got quite featured tonight.
I got featured 13 times. I was spot on.
Yeah, you looked great.
No, you could see I look so bloated because that popcorn that was there was so good, and that boxes of candy were
all
so
the snacks
good.
Were so
and
delicious.
I just sat there while I waited, and I just kept eating candy and popcorn.
And we'll get into those delicious Vita cocktails.
I didn't get any of those.
Oh, we'll talk about those delicious Vita
I was
cocktails.
holding place.
Well, at the beginning of the scene when Heather says, "Did anyone order a music stand?" Actually, yes, I did. That music stand was there because I ordered it.
I love it. At least it's
this is totally going to be about us.
Okay.
Sorry, Heather, we love you. Your book event was beautiful, and I've read your book personally. I love every word of it. But this is about us now. Thank you. We'll still recap what happened and all, but...
I love it that Lisa walks in. She's like, you need couches? Oh my God, I have 100 couches you can borrow. I'm like,
I know.
Who can borrow just one couch?
Right? Who needs to borrow more than just one couch? He's like, I've got 100 of them. Just take them.
Yeah.
Whatever you need. So I didn't realize until this moment that Lisa really kind of has crap going on with practically everyone except
I had no idea what anything was going on at this point.
I know. Y'all, being,
this was the first time we met Monica.
Yes, and y'all, I know we mentioned it an episode or two ago, but in person, all of these women are so much more beautiful than, even though I feel they're already beautiful on TV.
But it's weird. It's weird. They look different in person.
Yeah, it's magnified how much more beautiful you could even imagine.
I feel like they're just more flattened. But in person, you know, you get the real depth
Texture
of everything.
and depth.
And
Yeah,
I mean, they
right,
look
you're
really
right.
good.
And
Because
so-
even Monica, I'm like,
like
I don't
Monica
remember
in
Monica
person.
looking
I
that
just
bad.
remember her skin like glowing
was
and just
gorgeous.
being
I was kind of
that
blown away by how pretty
beautiful
she was.
neon green against her skin. Like she just, I couldn't wait to see what she's going to bring to the show because she was already so beautiful.
Standing next to that guy in that lavender polo shirt looked so good. But that was me. You know? I looked so good at that.
You looked
outfit.
great.
I
You
looked so
looked
good.
amazing. You really did. You really did.
I'm so proud of you.
But, you know, Lisa's got stuff going on with everyone except she's like, I'm going to have fun with Heather today.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fun with her. I'm going to celebrate her.
glad.
I still get to make it about me a little bit.
And you know what? Everyone's like, oh my God, Lisa rapping, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys, she went up there and gave a rap while people were snickering and like booing her and stuff. And she played that stuff out hard, saying Monica was the one doing the booing and snickering stuff. But she, you know what? That's ballsy to do, something like that.
And was anyone's really supposed to think that she's like
gonna be good?
a serious rap artist?
You guys, God.
First of all, the rap was a lot longer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. I mean, Lisa practiced it like 3 times.
Yeah. And she was just having fun.
We were all standing to the side and just like cheering her on.
Yes, girl.
And then when she finally did it, I mean, it was so much fun. And I thought she sang great. People forget there are 2 melodies to Away in a Manger.
And also, people forget that this is also just fun. Nature stuff like this isn't supposed to be like a Grammy Award winning stuff, right?
No,
Grammys?
but, yes, but still, I'm down with the Lisa Barlow Christmas album. I'm including a rap. I give it.
I mean, listen, if Sheena Shea could come out with an album, Lisa Barlow could come out with an album.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
So Monica, oh my God, what if Lisa Barlow does a Christmas song produced by James Kennedy?
No.
So Monica fills Meredith in on the Prism event, and
Basically,
really just,
Monica runs off and tattles.
yes, but really just kind of tells Meredith, Lisa essentially just told me that no one wants to be my mom.
Well, I mean, it's true, but that's the only thing she highlighted. Like, what about all the things you said?
Yeah, that was a completely one-sided.
You could tell Monica runs off to tattle to get Meredith on her side.
But Meredith tries to like coach Monica on responding versus reacting, and I think they were very wise words.
Very wise words. And of
on
course,
deaf ears.
Yeah, Monica's like, well, that sounds really healthy, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
which sounds
thanks.
great for you, girl, but it also shows who you are.
Right. Just like last week, I fought here and I fought here and I fought
Yeah, my
here.
girl, you are not okay.
So Lisa, approaches the crowd, starts off with some Away in a Manger, and she's like, I'm bored with this song.
Record screech.
Heather comes out, and everyone on social media says looking like a judge. I didn't even consider that she was in her choir robe. And she asked an amen for Lisa, which was my cue to stand up and sing, amen, amen. So we all get up and sing that and give Lisa a beat. None of this was really rehearsed.
No, when they said give him a beat, I was like, you in Utah?
Yeah. But none of this was really rehearsed except for the cue for Give Lisa an Amen, which came earlier than I thought it was going to come, so that's why
I know you're all trying to zip up your robe.
So anyhow, but they edited it well. But the women in the audience, in particular Angie K and Monica, are not responding well.
No.
But again, don't take it so seriously.
You guys have fun.
I mean, if Lisa Barlow is taking it seriously, that makes me love it more. You know?
Oh my gosh, please come up with a rap for Wendy's or something. Or Del Taco.
Well, she is a sponsor for Wendy's.
Yeah, I know, but like she should be a sponsor for Del Taco too.
Well, she should do
and she should do raps for both of them.
Give me a frosty wrap. Give me a frosty French fry wrap. Yes, Lisa Barlow, please.
I love it.
So Heather's story was really quite beautiful. I just wish that I would have heard it because I had already read the book, and I was kind of having difficulties hearing back in the very back of the room where I ended up.
And you gave your seat.
I gave my seat to Shay.
Yeah.
Shay, who is a listener who we love.
Love him.
He's just the sweetest guy. What is his social media? I'm having a blank.
Seamus
Ludwig.
Seamus Ludwig.
I think that it is on IG. Sorry, Shay, we suck. Anyway, so I was in the very back, and with Edward, with all the choir members, but in particular Edward from the choir. And y'all, when I say those Vita Tequila cocktails were delicious, those Vita Tequila cocktails were delicious.
They literally sat back there the entire time I was seat saving, parched from all the popcorn I was eating. Didn't give me a single drink.
Edward and I finished off all of that cocktail that was for the whole audience because the event was over.
Because he found out a way to get more alcohol in the drinks.
He got the bartenders to mix them in a different way.
To get more alcohol in them.
Yes, and they were so effing delicious. It's similar to that cocktail mixer that we had the special order that we liked so much. It's very similar to that.
I wish I could have tasted it. That would have been great.
So Edward and I just kind of kept going back. I was like, I hope to God they're not filming us. Going to the bar.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so gold.
But again, I had already read Heather's book. I love Heather's book. It's so good. Again, those Vita cocktails were just so good.
You're not going to be able to talk your way out of this.
I love that they highlighted that one guy saying he didn't leave the church for his parents.
I hope his parents weren't watching.
I hope to God his parents don't watch this.
I know. Or I hope his parents' friends don't watch. No one from his church watches. You know what? Maybe this was his way. Maybe it was intentional.
Oh my gosh, we need to check on him, see if he's lost his entire family.
Well, Heather and Lisa have a really beautiful conversation in a way.
I said from season 1 that they are going to be best friends, and look what's happening. Look what's happening.
Yes. And I think Lisa also kind of gets through to Heather what I was just saying, earlier. You can love God in different ways. There's just some core things that, really is what matters. God doesn't care if you wear a strapless dress.
I feel like Heather really was able to explain herself better to Lisa. And Lisa says at one point, Heather is still finding herself in her journey. And I was like, who is Heather without Mormonism? She doesn't even know who she is. So people don't understand her whole life. The way she acted, the way she thought, the way she communicated was Mormonism.
Yeah.
And getting out of a cult. I'm not comparing it to a cult.
Yeah,
Nobody yell at me. But I'm saying you get brainwashed into thinking one certain way for so long, you don't know how to think for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
We were just watching that documentary about the twin flames, which is absolutely insane. But that one girl said once she got out, she couldn't think for herself. Yeah. She had to learn to think for herself again. Yeah. And it's just
that's what Heather.
I just love that they're having this conversation.
I feel like at this moment, I'm like, Heather and Lisa are bona fide friends now. After all of the contention, I've kind of forgotten how they were almost mortal enemies before, So Angie K wants to address Meredith, and she doesn't want Meredith to run away again.
Hold on. I do love Heather Gay's blue dress and blue shirt in her confessional with the little black.
Oh, yeah.
It's so simple. And it's so beautiful.
Listen, she has slammed the whole wardrobe game.
I don't like that brown thing that has the pointy boob because I think she looks good standing up, but sitting down points differently.
I love it. I want to see it standing up.
But
I don't love it sitting down.
This simple blue dress shirt.
Yeah, she looks so pretty.
With the little black, I don't know what kind of tie that is. It's just just a little, Colonel Sanders kind of bow tie thing. But I think she looks so beautiful in that.
Yeah, she's slaying the wardrobe. So Meredith made threats that she could say things that could ruin her family.
But she didn't.
Which is true. Mm-hmm. But she didn't actually say things. She just made empty threats, really, if you think about it.
I have never seen a more passive-aggressive apology or apology acceptance.
Oh my God, I wrote down the same exact thing. I was like, Meredith gives a passive-aggressive apology, and Angie K gives a passive-aggressive, glad you didn't walk away.
That's just one sentence. I mean, that's insane. I hated this so much, but I was like, I don't think I've ever seen... I've seen a one-sided passive-aggressive apology, but I've never seen it on both sides.
Yeah,
that was really interesting.
I'm so glad that we were both informed about that. That's so funny. We're so much alike. Heather tells her such supportive and gorgeous daughters, Annabelle and Georgia, that she's going to write a second book, but kind of just wants their blessing first.
I do think Heather needs to write in her second book about how once she came out and started this journey that she met two amazing bears.
And started a choir.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And have blurbs with us with pictures.
Yes.
In the book. Please, come on.
Got us drunk, John, together.
We're important.
Nobody has ever once said that.
Please, someone notice us.
Mention us in your book.
We're not needy. So, her daughters, even Ashley, who's not in this scene, every time they speak on screen and obviously in person, they're just very good with their words. They're very eloquent. They really say what they mean, and they're always very direct. And here, Georgia's just like, as long as you're just telling your story and you don't have negative motives, then please continue to discover who you are.
Yeah, that's because if I was her, I'd be like, sure, Mom, do it. I want a bigger house. I'm gonna be 16 soon.
Yeah.
Sure, Mom, do it.
Over at Lisa's, she's dressed casually, in like a $1 million hoodie. But nonetheless, it's weird to me to see her dressed so casually. And Angie K's also coming over in the
Versace
mom jeans.
just t-shirt.
Yeah, but it's just a t-shirt with some, of course, diamond brooch.
And $1 million glasses.
But also what seemed like casual, the mom jeans were very in style at the moment, so they might still be, I don't know. But I'm sure those were hundreds of dollars for the jeans. But they both look like what... compared to how they normally look, like they got out of bed practically.
Slums.
Well, they sit with some bakery items from Neater's, the West Coast Panera is what I call it.
Yes.
Is Neater's even in California?
I've never even heard it in Nevada. I don't remember.
Okay, so maybe it's a Utah
thing. I've never heard of Neater's before.
So Neater's, for those of you who are, I guess it's local. I don't know. It's like Panera.
There are a lot of Salt Lake City.
Very similar to Panera, but I think they have a better bakery than Panera.
Yes.
Very much so. Angie K thinks that Lisa thinks that Angie K is taking Monica's side.
I do have to say, hold on. When Angie shows up, and she's like, I love this painting. And Lisa's like, oh, it's great. I have lots of paintings. I have a new one on its way. I was dying for her to say how much it was going to cost, how much it cost. I wanted to hear how outrageous this one cost and how much the new one was going to cost. And then I was just kind of hoping for pop-up video where it just pops up $15,000 or even just, I would love a pop-up video of just Lisa's inner thoughts.
I heard that Monica just ordered some $60,000 artwork.
Oh, shit.
Oh, everyone on social media is saying that Monica found that ring and got some surprisingly expensive things right after that. I don't know.
I mean, I would not put it past her.
Listen, I only read headlines and go by hearsay.
We always have to have a crook in every season.
We do. So it's not about taking Monica's side.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
It's about you tell me that you don't like Monica and that you're not close with her. And then Angie K goes, but I'm not. And then finally, which I feel like Lisa should have already been told this, that Angie K and Monica sat down at that sweet shop
a week before.
And kind of closed the door on this and moved past it.
But we all know this isn't why Lisa's upset. Lisa just doesn't want them to be friends because Lisa wants to win. Period.
Okay, let me preface with what I'm about to say with, I don't want Lisa Barlow to change a thing about her.
No.
Please, Lisa Barlow, don't you ever, if you're listening, change a thing about you. I love you and I'm obsessed with you, but this was gaslighting at its finest right here.
No.
You left with Angie K apologizing to you and Angie K taking full responsibility when she wasn't even arguing at the jewelry shop. Jewelry show.
I did write, Angie apologized so much. Why is she being so apologetic for her own feelings?
Angie apologizes for not feeling comfortable to tell Lisa how she's feeling. Angie let me repeat that. Angie apologizes to Lisa for not feeling comfortable expressing her feelings to Lisa because of the way Lisa might react.
And I love it that Lisa says, your insecurities are not my problem.
Lisa Barlow, don't you ever change a thing about yourself. That really was, that was art.
I'm an open book.
That was art. For one time, maybe gaslighting isn't used so negatively, Maybe it's just like the textbook definition.
But I definitely left with Angie feeling bad about herself.
Well, you know what? And I feel like Angie K has some insecurity issues.
Are you kidding me?
In general, outside of Lisa
I think
Barlow.
she does. I would say she doesn't like confrontation, but we know that's not true.
Yeah.
On some level.
Yeah. But, Lisa gets out of this whole conversation really without having to be accountable for anything. And
that's how I leave every situation.
I want more of these scenes.
I have turned it around so that you are the one.
I want by the end of this season, every single woman on this cast apologizing to Lisa Barlow for anything that they've ever done to her. And that's how I'm going to leave
And
it.
I want her to say to each one of them, your insecurities are not my problem. I'm giving Lisa this season.
Yes. I mean, Lisa's tagline this season is just perfect. And I'm on that same journey with her.
Oh my God, I love Lisa Barlow so much, y'all. She's gold, y'all. On the show and in person. She's the sister that I feel like she's the sister everybody wants. She's just a goofball.
How funny she is does really not translate on camera as well, because these women rile her up.
And
And we've never had to disagree with her.
No, she's been pleasant to us.
Lisa, you still owe us dinner.
I just want Lisa to love me.
And you owe us to be on our podcast as well.
All right, we love you. So anyhow, we love just Salt Lake City Housewives. I mean,
it's a good show.
I knew we would have plenty to say about this because I love this episode. Despite
sweating.
how crappy we've been feeling, we gave it our all.
I definitely have sweat out the toxins of
I
whatever
feel like
I was getting over.
I can see.
I'm trying not to.
Well, y'all, in the meantime, follow us on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, we are The Real House Bears. On Twitter X, we are Real House Bears. You can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com. And you can buy merch at the website realhousebears.redbubble.com. I didn't know if you wanted me to or not.
No,
so
you
just
have
did.
to. I told you need to.
Oh, am I taking it for good now?
Yes.
Okay, so I did it.
Thank you. I want very minimal work that I have to do on this podcast.
Well, I mean, you do carry this whole podcast. Let's take off some of the load.
Yeah, that's true. You can also watch us on YouTube and Spotify, and you can also listen to us wherever you listening to podcasts. And if you're listening to us on any podcast that you could give us a rating or some comments, give us a 5-star or 5 thumbs up or five bears or whatever, and write a comment, nice, something sweet, but just give us a good rating.
And let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, hit us up so we know. And we'll make you hashtag Housebears famous.
Oh, actually, real quick, I know it's the end. We have Darla Shirley. Darla Shirley, thank you for engaging with us on our social media. Thank you for waving at your TV at us this week. And
I saw you.
And even knowing that we exist.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Do you want to wear your glasses?
I'm going to.
All right. Well, we're doing a sound check right now.
Sound checking. Sound. Oh my God, the sound.
But now, look how great you look.
I do look really good, but that's not part of the sound.
Well,
if beauty could make a sound, what would it be?
Your voice.
Oh, snap. I love you so much, Barry. You're the best thing that's ever happened in this whole